Ever wonder why some players always dominate KVKs while they are getting 50 million merits, 100 million merits, and so on, but some other players are getting 10, 15, 5 million merits, but at the same time both of them are having same amount of power, and that's why power is not the most important metric in this game. Today, I'm going to break down 5 things every good player, every good Call of Dragons player does during the KVK, which actually separate them from the average player. And the number one fact which we are going to speak is markers, right? Alliance leader and alliance officers are able to put markers on the territory of the map, right? This is one of the huge problems which I believe every single alliance officers and leaders have had in their gameplay, that people just don't listen to markers. I know the biggest problem is that most of the players are playing this game from the mobile phone, not from the laptop or PC. And that's the main problem. From the mobile phone, it's really hard to see what's going on in terms of markers in this game. But the markers are the best possible way how alliance leader and officers can actually communicate with the fighters during the PvP, right? So one of the biggest advices how you can actually play like a team during the wars especially is to just look at the markers, guys. Markers are the way how your alliance is actually fighting. And unfortunately, most of the players still, till this day, after 3 years of gameplay, they still don't understand the markers and how important those markers are. For example, there are some fights when markers are saying stop, like here. It says don't go AFK, wrong territory. Imagine here we are fighting and everybody is moving forward toward the opponents and marker says that stop, let's chill for 5 minutes and then attack. Unfortunately, 50% of the players won't gonna even read the marker, and generally that's the biggest disagreement inside the alliance chats, because everybody is saying look at the markers. If you will just look at your alliance chats and the mails from your leaders and officers, and you will see at the start of the KVK they will always say that follow the markers. Markers needs to be followed, right? Actually, that's the most important, right? There is no other way. Well, actually, there is one more way how you can communicate with your fighters during the KVK, which is the call inside the chat, which is just a new thing. But not everybody can go inside the call and listen to the officers and leaders. But at the same time, you can always go and check what's actually going on during the fights while you can check the markers. So that's one of the biggest tips which I can give you as a fighter. My main goal and my motivation every single KVK is to fight as much as possible. And one of the main things which I learned towards this gameplay is that you have to listen to markers. That's our fact number 1. And yeah, we are going to go and see the fact number 2, right? Villages in this game is one of the most important aspects for the fighters. And what are the villages, right? Villages are the small places around the map. Every single village can give you a different thing, and occupying the village will cost 40 stamina for your legendary or for your heroes. So basically, villages are different, right? And let me show you what kind of villages we have in this game. For example, healing mana cost, healing gold cost, healing ore, healing wood, hero XP bonus, daily elixir production. Also, we should have daily elixir capacity limit, which is super important, right? If you don't understand that your hospital is one of the most important things for fighters in this game, then I have no idea what you have been doing in Call of Dragons, right? For example, myself, I have not captured every single village which I have, and when you're gonna go to the village management, you will see that I got 10 1,500 daily elixir production, like basically free 10k elixirs, and we got 7,000 elixir capacity limit, which is basically my hospital capacity was increased by 7,000, right? And I'm still in the zone 2, which means until the last zone, I'm pretty sure I will have at least like 20k daily elixir production, and I will have at least like 15k elixir capacity limit increase, right? At the same time, if you are going to take the healing mana costs, which is -5%, -3, -2, -5, you will have the amount of minus healing for your resources that it will be super cheap for you to heal your tier 5 troops. And we all know how expensive is to heal your tier 5 troops in this game. So not only there is policies which is reducing the healing cost in this game, which is called resource healing, and it's reducing by 10%. We also have villages which is going to reduce healing cost for ore, for gold, for mana, and of course I believe most important villages in this game are healing mana cost reductions and elixir production and capacity limit increases, right? So my advice would be, meanwhile, when you are fighting in the KvK, try to get as much important villages as possible. If you think that it's just not that important, you are totally wrong. I understand like only one village is giving you 2.5k and 2,000 capacity limits, but whenever you're gonna get 10 and 15 villages, it will add up and you will have a good amount of elixir production and capacity limit, and also resource healing cost reductions, right? So that's super important. Try to make it happen and try to make it as a behavior, as a routine every single KvK whenever you are as a fighter, right? So that's my fact number 2. Let's go, man. Let's talk about fact number 3. And the fact number 3 is resources, right? Resources, which is the reason why some players with a huge amount of power are not really fighting, because they don't have enough resources in this game, right? Whenever you are at the home kingdom and you have sometimes you have 1 month of home kingdom, sometimes you have 2 or 3 weeks, you have to always farm. You have to always farm. I know it's really boring in home kingdom when there is no activity, there is no fights. Sometimes you don't even want to enter the game, but you have to enter the game because every single 3 or 2 hours you have to send your gatherers in order for you to get resources and get ready for the KvK. Because entering KvK without resources is basically like fighting for 1 hour and then that's it, right? That's it. You don't have resources, you aren't gonna be able to resource heal your troops, and you are going to miss most important fights during the KvK because you don't have enough resources. That's simple fact. Plus, resource healing in this game is quite rewarding. You have conquest achievements, and whenever you are achieving like 1 million resource healing, you are getting some elixirs, some resources, more elixirs, and the most important is 50 million troops. When 50 million troops will be healed by the resources, you are getting Yggdra Ember, and by this Yggdra Ember you are going to get Warped skills. So trust me, you have to always heal, always farm whenever there is nothing happening in the game. If everybody is waiting for pass openings and you have nothing to do in this game, you are sending your gatherers, mainly mana, because mana is the most important resource in terms of healing and most costly. Not most costly, but you are gathering less mana than anything else in this game because mana nodes are the lowest amount of resources inside. So all the time you have to be gathering. That's the priority in this game. Also, you have to remember that not every single fight you have to heal, right? There is fights, which is the most important fights, like progressing through paths, taking control on Dragon Zone. That's the time when you have to actually resource heal to be ready to fight, right? If not, then save up your resources and wait for the proper moment. That was our fact number 3. Now we're gonna speak about fact number 4, right? Not every single fight is a good fight, and not every single fight you have to be fighting, right? If you are a ranged player, and if you are basically archer or mage, you have to remember, in order for you to fight, you have to have your alliance members protecting you, right? Basically, it means that you have to mainly fight during wars. If you are running solo gameplay, like cavalry players, if you are running solo gameplay as an archer player or as a mage player, you won't gonna get any merits because you are going to get destroyed, right? We are having lowest amount of march speed in the game as a ranged players, and basically cavalry and infantry will always catch us. Plus, of course, it's important to remember that we have artifacts in this game, such as blinks, such as invisibles for some cases, and they are always going to catch you if you are playing solo. So understand that this game is not a solo gameplay game, it's a war gameplay game, which means if you chose to be ranged player, you have to wait for your alliance members. If you are cavalry or infantry player, you can always go and fight even solo, right? So ranged players, it's all about teamwork, and melee players, it's all about teamwork also, but you can go for the solo rides. So basically, that's the main point, right? Not every single fight is a good fight for you. Understanding what is your good fight and when to fight, that's the most important, right? And also, until you're gonna go and fight, remember to have your hospital empty, right? So that's basically also a big tip. And yeah, one of the last facts, fifth fact, which is important to know, you have to prepare for the fights, right? How to prepare for the fights? First of all, you have to check if there is a correct mana stone on the map, right? Generally, for fighting, there is a couple of mana stones which are great, right? For example, there is defense mana stones, there is HP mana stones, and there is attack mana stones. I believe HP and attack is the best ones if you are not cavalry and if you don't want to get the march speed, right? Preparing for the fight is important as understanding how to fight. So, get your mana stones, preferably HP, attack, or defense. That's the 3 best ones. That's number 1. Then you are going home and checking if you have your hospital empty, and not only empty, right? You can make your hospital empty, but you don't have elixir. So preparing for war means empty hospital, which means no troops inside the hospital, and also we have to have full elixirs. That's how you are preparing for fight. Full elixirs, like 700k elixir. If I had, I would be ready for fight, because whenever you are fighting, even if you are winning, you are getting troops inside your hospital, because in this game we have such a thing as counter-attack damage. So basically, no matter how good of a fighter you are, how many fights you are winning, you will always have troops in your hospital. So preparing is mana stones, preparing is elixir, and having full elixir and having empty elixir. Also, preparing in this game means saving elixirs, right? And that's the thing which I always do. And you can see we have been winning Zone 1 and Zone 2 in this current KvK, which is Dragon Siege, and of course I have been saving my elixirs for the much more important fights, such as Dragon Zone fights, Zone 3, some Behemoth fights. So basically, preparing also means understanding when you can save your elixirs for the much better fights, in order for you to fight longer, right? Whoever fights longer, whoever has most troops and knows how to play around the stamina, that's the players who are getting highest amount of merit. So save your elixirs if you don't have to use them in the current fights. And also, preparing for war means that you have to always check your stamina of your heroes, right? Every single time, whenever you're gonna send out your hero outside of your city, they are going to lose 10 stamina, right? So basically, if you are jumping your hero like every single second, like I'm gonna show you right now, I will choose like epic heroes such as like Eliana and Atheus, and let's check, right? Right, that's one time. If you are sending your troops frequently outside of your city, unfortunately, your troops, your heroes are going to lose a lot of stamina, and for the fights you won't gonna have enough. Check out the Eliana right now. Well, I guess I have to be fighting, right? Yeah. So basically, if you are sending out your troops like every single 5 seconds outside of your city and fighting and sending them back, you're gonna lose your stamina. Also, not only heroes have stamina, even war pets have stamina, right? And you have to be looking at, if you have low stamina, you will see that your war pet and your hero is tired. You can sometimes even send them outside of your city, but they won't gonna deal full damage. So looking at your stamina, understanding how much you got, how many times you can send out your marches is also important. So basically, last fact was the most important in my opinion: mana stones, hospital management, elixir management, saving elixirs in general, and the stamina management is the purest things which every single good player does in Call of Dragons, and that's how they are actually preparing for war. I hope after watching this video, every single player will be, whoever watched this video will be ready for the fight. And as always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.